Good morning, everybody. WIP Mania, day 16. I am more than halfway through, as are all of you who are participating in crazy Stitch Mania or WIP Mania or Craft Mania or whatever version of this that you chose, or if you're just following along with everybody else's craziness. So I'm halfway through, and I thought that at this point last year on Instagram, I think I was starting to peter out a little bit. So in order to keep my motivation high, in order to continue on with this, because it's really giving me a great look at what is already started and where things are, and reorganizing things and giving them a fresh look, which has been really great. So in order to keep my motivation high, it's been a while since we had a face-to-face in the floss tube setup area. And it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day. And I have a fair number of things that I wanted to share with you and talk about today. So I thought that I would do it this way. So hope that's okay. To start off with, my mug of the day, my I Love Coffee mug. One of my favorites. A few years ago, Nicholas and his dad went to England to celebrate the life of my husband's mother, Bridget. There was a memorial service for her in the small town where she was born, and her brothers were there and the rest of her family, and it was a wonderful celebration of her life. They were there for about a week, and when they came home, Nicholas wanted to choose a reminder of his trip, a gift for me, and out of all of the English, British souvenirs at the airport, this was the one he chose because he told his dad he knew that his mom would love this one the best. And I do indeed. So it's one of my favorite mugs to drink out of. And at the moment, it is full of delicious coffee. So I'm going to be very careful with that because it is very close to my WIP. So I'm going to start with the newsy bits. And I will start with, first of all, just a reminder about the high tea giveaway, because I am going to be pulling that name. I'm going to be drawing for that prize this weekend. So just a reminder, the prize this time for last month's high tea was a Mirabilia chart. What was this again? Which one is this? She's so pretty. Oh my heavens above. This is Sabrina Mirabilia. She's beautiful. I've never stitched a Mirabilia, never stitched a Mira. I don't know that I ever will. I like looking at them, but I'm not sure I would ever finish one. I think I would probably start one, but I'm not sure. I would probably run out of steam with the dress. I've watched my friend Adrienne stitching hers, and that big pink dress was a lot of work, but they are beautiful. Anyways, so just a reminder that last month, so April's high tea, and you can find it in the list of videos on my channel. And if you watch the last month's high tea, it will tell you how to enter for the draw. And I'm sure that there will be a little notions tote tucked in the package as well, if you win. So that was the first thing that I wanted to talk about. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was that I had an incredibly generous offer from a viewer of the show, who is also a member of our Facebook group, Felicia. And Felicia contacted me and offered for me to give a giveaway to celebrate WIP Mania. And I just think this was the nicest, greatest idea. She has offered to FFO one of your WIPs, one of your FOs. So not one of your WIPs. It needs to be she's not going to finish the stitching for you, but she is going to finish your FO into an FFO. And she has posted a couple of pictures on the Facebook group of some scissor, they're like little pin cushions, and there's a little pocket in the front for the scissors. Those are the ones that I've seen that she's finished. She does a beautiful job. And she has offered to FFO something for a winner. Isn't that generous and amazing? So Felicia, thank you. So I will have more details on this. I wanted to discuss it just a little bit more with Felicia and figure out exactly, the sort of size of project that we have in mind, because obviously, we don't want it to be something massive and turn it into like this. They're not going to be framed or things like that. It's going to be, I would suspect, let's keep it to a small finish. Let's not overwhelm poor Felicia. And I think the only thing that she asked with that was that it not be something that you needed back in, June or July, something like a wedding gift, something like that, because I don't think that her turnaround could possibly ever be that fast. I think that would be pretty superhuman. So that's exciting. So when I have all the details, I will give them to you as I have them, because I would like to combine it with a giveaway of my own to celebrate at the end of this crazy month of May. So more details to come. I have just been having the best month. I know I shared the video of when I went to visit my new floss tube friends, Jen and Allison of Stitching Social, and Crafty Kim was there as well, and Stitching Social's mom was there as well. And we had a wonderful time, and they were just the best hosts, and Stitchy friends are always just so amazing to hang out with and get to chat and get to know a little bit better. And you always find that you have so many things in common. So I have a few other things up my sleeve for this month. A few other little visits possibly that might be happening. So if you keep an eye on my Instagram feed, I might be sharing little sneak peeks as I go. So that's a little hint. I may be going somewhere tomorrow. You never know. So I can't wait to share, because the coming weeks ahead are just full of joy for me, and I can't wait to share everything with you. I think that's it for Newsy Bits today. So let's get right to the stitching. If you're still with me here, oh wait, one more thing. See, this is why I should have notes in front of me, but usually I wing it. Knitting the mittens tutorial. You may remember last Friday in my Stitch With Me video, I talked about how I was going to try and lovingly suggest that possibly my mother have a go at my garden beds. Well, my mom very generously, and I'm going to admit that I may have suggested it, has offered to come with my dad, and they are going to take care of my front garden beds as my birthday gift, so she and my dad are going to take care of the front beds, all the pruning and that kind of stuff, making them look clean and tidy, as John and my birthday gift this summer. Our birthdays are in July, but this is a lot of work, and it's nice to take care of the bulk of this. The stuff needs to be pruned now, according to my mom. She knows best, so they're coming today. So that has put me off schedule with the knitting tutorials. I meant to do it yesterday, and then I very cheekily showed you at the beginning that I bought a new sewing machine yesterday. To be clear, I know I was a bit flippant in the beginning about that sewing machine. However, that was not an impulse buy. Just to be clear, that's my business. I use my sewing machine all the time, and I also live up north, for almost 3 months every year. I've kind of been putting off that decision of, having it taken in for repair, my original machine, and also kind of at the back of my mind thinking, you really should have a backup machine, and it would be nice to have a second machine that you could take up north and leave there for the whole time. And because normally what happens when I travel back and forth during the summer, I bring my machine with me, and it's not light or small. I mean, it's not massive, but it's awkward enough, and it takes up room in the car. So kind of at the back of my mind, I'd been thinking about all of those things. And so when the stitches on my original machine very clearly were not as perfect as I like them, it was way overdue for a service, I thought, okay, time to bite the bullet, take it in and have it serviced, and then have a look and see what they've got. So it was, and I don't like to dilly-dally around. Once I've made a decision and I've made up my mind, I like to execute the plan, because otherwise I can just take forever and procrastinate. So I knew going in there that I was coming home with a machine. It wasn't totally an impulse buy. So in all honesty, there's that. And I spent most of yesterday trying to, you know, sort myself around it, because of course my old machine is at the shop now. So figuring out this new one, the feet are different, everything about it it's a different brand. So my original one is a Husqvarna and this one is a Genome, and all of the bits and pieces are different. And so how I do things, how I make the bags, I'm having to figure out how to do it slightly differently with this machine. So that was most of yesterday, and that's why the knitting video didn't happen yesterday. So it's not going to happen today, but John and the kids are going to the cottage this weekend. It is a long weekend. It is Victoria Day weekend in Canada. And so I have decided to stay here and have a quiet work weekend, which means lots of sewing, lots of stitching, lots of knitting, lots of time to prepare the knitting videos and tutorials, and just kind of be an introvert for 4 days, which I'm super excited about. So that's coming up. So 12 minutes in, I'm looking at the timestamp. I have been nattering on for 12 minutes. This video is already 3 times longer than the majority of my WIP Maynia videos this whole month. So I'm gonna get right to the stitching right now. Today's WIP of the day is my twisted band sampler. So this is a Northern Expressions needlework piece, twisted band sampler. She is a Canadian designer. These were the original this was the original color scheme that she charted, so a rainbow design. And we started this as a stitch along at Thread and I a few years ago. And we were encouraged to consider our own color choices. And I love purples and teals. And so I chose a color palette that was completely different than what was charted, and probably, you know, way more bright and vibrant than many of the things in my house, but that's okay. I love it. So I went with purples. Purples, mostly purples. And this one has a little bit of a teal in the variegation. So these are dinky dyes. And so starting from the brightest purple, this is called Orchid. It's blowing out there. So that's Orchid. And then we have Amethyst. There. Boolia and Ocean Grove. And the variegation on that is just so beautiful. And so my progress up until this point looks like this. So you know what I'd like to do is I'd like to get a little bit more of the Ocean Grove in. Oh, I should have mentioned, I'm doing the cross stitch version. I'm not doing the specialty stitch version. So cross stitch version, because I knew if I did the specialty stitch version, I would never finish it. And if you've been watching the Facebook group, you've seen Letitia's progress on hers. She's almost done, and it is stunning. Stunning yellows and rusts and blues, just gorgeous. And she is almost finished. So Letitia, you are my inspiration for this one today, because I would really like to put some progress in mine. So there we go. There we have it. So let's see. Today I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 completed flowers of the Ocean Grove. Maybe I can finish one more flower today, tonight. Maybe. We'll see. My parents are staying overnight, and I would like to visit with them, and sometimes it's hard to count and visit. So we'll see. I will at least get one length of thread in of the Ocean Grove. How about that? I promise that. So speaking of one length of thread, yesterday's WIP of the day was True Blue, which the more I look at this picture, I love it so much. It's so detailed and pretty. The trailing flowers on the front, beautiful. And mine looks nothing like this because of course I barely have anything done, but I did more than 5 stitches. So I went over to the blue because I wanted to start working on the blue door. And how many did I get? Let's count. It was one length of thread and it's very small. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I did 45 stitches. There. 45 stitches with one length of floss. So this is a 25 count Congress cloth, and I'm using 1 strand of DMC. So it's like a small Aida. Teeny tiny Aida. The fabric is quite firm, but it makes a nice stitch. So that's it. 45 stitches. If I can get 45 stitches in my twisted band sampler today, it'll be a good day. That's it for me today. I'm pretty sure I filled you in on all of my news, all of the exciting giveaway news. Be watching for things happening over the next couple of weeks that are fun and extra. And I will see you tomorrow. Happy stitching, everybody. Have a great day.